Hi, folks. The last time we talked about problems we face with data silos. In this video, let's talk about how do we go about solving this. Now, one thing I want to underline is as I go along, talk about some of these solutions and tools. You, if you read about these tools, most of these companies are claiming and talking about following the entire data's lifecycle solution or claim to have solutions for the entire data lifecycle. So the due diligence has to be done by you or your consulting partner to find out which solutions are the best in terms of their maturity and fitment to your organization. This advice of course is not a replacement of full consulting gig which could take several weeks to months to really identify the right set of tools which are right for your organizations, building the right type of teams, and then really painstakingly putting in all the work to fix your data silo issues. But this is at least a high level guidance on how do you go about building that strategy. So I'll start with the number one solution, which is probably at the simplest and the lowest level of complexity, which is fostering collaboration. Data silos actually happen primarily because each department starts treating itself as a separate company, or there are those walls which come across between the departments, so they start just talking to their own people, building their own process. So if your company is small enough where you can enable cross department collaboration, I think there is absolutely no better solution than that. I mean, creating collaboration, there are certain tools available today, things like Microsoft, full stack of Microsoft and Google have workspace tools and collaboration tools. So I'm very familiar with the Microsoft landscape. So right from Teams and from communication, file sharing, how OneDrive integrates into the whole story, Microsoft Office, Microsoft Copilot, all of these solutions, one, they have a huge AI component built into them. But second huge portion is how several people can work together on a certain document and share between each of them across Excel, reports, Tableau. Now, second solution is downstream. So first step within this is to audit your data. Basically figure out where your data is today and how it is connected, which systems hold all of this data. Now you could manually do this auditing. If you are a smaller organization, you would know what are typical systems and what is the data model underlying within each of these systems, and you can create a map yourself. But if you're a large organization or you have a lot of data from the past, you could actually use tools like Elation and Collabora basically to do that type of mapping. So these are the tools which are specialists in going and digging into the data model into each of the system, hooking and pulling all the data together. And so you could create a comprehensive data model within your organization and figure out where all these entities are and how they are related to each other and where they're sitting. So once you've done the discovery or identified where your data silos are or where your data is sitting, the second piece comes is where you visualize all of this. This is where Microsoft Power BI has a solution called data flows, and similarly Tableau has a solution also which actually helps you draw a very visual presentation of all of this data so that it's a lot easier to understand, and it can update the data model on the fly as your data sources or some of these underlying data sources are changing. The third piece would be to start focusing on investing in integration technology. There are several tools in the industry which will help you integrate data between these systems with each other. The number one system or the most popular among the enterprise organizations is the MuleSoft integration technology. MuleSoft actually brings a bunch of solutions for this, and they actually have integration capabilities across most of the majority of the ERPs and the CRMs and the solution sets and the data sets and the databases of the world. Similarly, they're one of the largest competitors is Dell Boomi. They are also an data integration partner and is a very, very mature solution in itself. With the data integration platform, what you are essentially doing is making sure that some of your systems, which are the most important, so take for example, in case of a retailer, CRM data and ERP data they being connected to each other and getting a single view of that data is very, very important for a retail company. So a data integration platform would work extremely well for you. The second set of solution which could do similar thing and even at a larger comprehensive level is we know that as a building a data lake or a data warehouse solution, they are a lot more popular in the industry, and for obvious reasons. uh, Getting your data, data lake built into the middle of your organization and being able to pool data from all data sources is extremely valuable. It is painstaking, it is a large project, it has a lot of investment which it requires, but it is a lot more valuable versus just doing data integration across few of the systems. In this space, again, several companies operate, but one of the most popular ones is Snowflake. They have built their entire ecosystem. In fact, one of the fastest growing companies, by thinking and rethinking of how a traditional data warehouse should be done. And how do you think about data sharing? How do you think about not creating redundant copies of data across the organization? And how do you truly break down data silos using their data warehouse solution? So, Snowflake is one of the leaders. You will also hear about Google making large investments in BigQuery, and that is also quite a popular solution across the Google landscape. The third solution in this space of bringing all of your data together is called the customer data platform. So essentially, the name gives away what these are meant to do. I could see customer data platform fitting extremely well in case of e-commerce companies where the focus is on the end customer, where they may be doing a lot of drop shipping as well and not thinking about the production costs and the production schedules, and rather focus on customer and what kind of marketing campaigns they've done, what kind of engagement they're drawing. So I think customer data platform is another great source of bringing your data together. Now is the part where you are going to focus on the data lifecycle in terms of standardizing the data, focusing on the quality of data, and how to make all of this data accessible. So there are again several tools. This is where your data engineering teams get deeply involved. So there are tools which focus on standardizing the data. By standardizing the data, what we mean is, for example, if the date of birth column is used as MMDDYY in some tables, and in some places it is the year is used in four digits. In some cases it's a full date, which is 27th July 1982. It is recorded in that format. It's making sure that the entire organization is using a standardized format. Similarly, data quality plays a very, very big role, and in fact detrimental to the success of these programs. So data quality is where you want to make sure that, one, you don't have missing information or missing data, which will mean that you can't really do a great set of reporting. Second, even if you have the information, is it accurate? Is it consistent across different systems? Or are there disconnects on how this data is seen across different systems? So, data quality plays a big role in building a good data strategy. There are solutions like Tailend and Informatica, which are specialists and highly specialists in this across the spectrum of which solution provider you is using. For example, if you're building this on AWS or Azure, they themselves have tools to support some of these projects. The fifth step of breaking and solving the problem of data silos is, now that you have the data centralized and made it available and you've thought about data quality and data standardization, is about data sharing. You again, I think the philosophy what Snowflake brought to the market is so crucial that you don't want companies to be building their own copies of the data within departments from this shared repository further. So how do you make sure that people have access to the data what you've created in a common place? That can be done in few ways. One is through the APIs, exposing those APIs or letting those APIs expose your data to the right consumers. This is where companies like Postman have excellent solutions to build those APIs. The second piece is for generating reports itself. Microsoft's Power BI and Tableau, they are industry leaders in this. Can integrate with most data sources, build real-time reports, and are extremely valuable in creating that shared view of reports for each department or across the organization. So overall, those are the 5 step framework what I have. If you have specific questions, happy to answer. Please do reach out, and we can help. Again, like I said, this 5 to 10 minute video is not a replacement for a comprehensive data strategy solutioning thing what we do for customers, but this at least gives you some idea on how to get started. Data silos is one of the number one challenges which companies face, and they have to work and fix those problems as soon as possible. And this 5 step framework hopefully will help you find some solutions or at least get a starting point for yourself. Thank you so much. Bye.